The main thing I think you guys should concentrate on is that video, and I think we'll all talk about this in turn, really helps you stand out from the crowd. Obviously, for a lot of people, integrating video into their business, much less their nonprofit or cause-driven organization, is still a relatively new thing. But I think today you're going to see a lot of benefits, a lot of good ways you can use it for fundraising, for awareness, for recruiting volunteers. I even added some crisis communications in here as well that I think you guys will find interesting. So obviously a lot of us are in this room are probably feeling this way about videos that they get sent, 12 times a day, and oh, okay, now I got to start producing video on top of everything else I'm doing, and things like that. But we're going to hopefully show you today kind of how easy that is, and do that through the wisdom of the crowds, and how, especially at the American Cancer Society, how we turn volunteers and fans and people who have cancer or have beaten cancer into video advocates. So real quick, we'll kind of show you some numbers. How many of you actually get home every day at 7:30 to watch, I don't know what, Glee or CSI or Lost or anything like that? Are there any people that are just like hooked to their TV dedicated? Right, so how many of you in the room are like, I have a DVR, I TiVo, Hulu, BitTorrent, YouTube, whatever you have out there to watch your videos? Very cool. You'd be surprised, like, that split of people, is always really small. Like, I talked to a college auditorium of like 250 kids, and there was like 7 people who were like, Gossip Girl, I have to be there to watch it, or whatever it was. But then, of course, everybody else like this room raises their hands. So the Pew Internet Foundation is amazing. I don't know where I ever came up with stats before them, but they did a 2007 kind of study, and I'm waiting for them to do another video study really soon, hopefully. And these were some of the numbers that they found in 2007 for their sample, of course. So 48% watched video online. How many of you watched a YouTube video yesterday or today? Right. And 15% actually use sharing sites. So a lot of people actually go and watch, but there's not a lot of people actually doing that content. So we'll break that down even more. Who shares? So 22% of people in America, according to this example, shoot video. And Michael and I were just talking about this before, where it's like, yeah, I love to shoot things. But we're like, can somebody else edit this? Can that just appear on our website and look good? That's what I'm sure Jordan gets at Convio a lot. And so 22% of people shoot, and 14% people actually go and upload. But those numbers are doubling every year. So, just do the math from 2007 to 2008, 2009, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there are a lot of people who are shooting video, and a fair amount that are uploading, but that number's going up and up and up. So, a lot of people think that this sexy guy right here is who watches internet video, right? There's a stereotype among your constituents that it's this really nerdy guy in his basement over a computer and things like that. But actually with video, the opposite is true. Video is what you call somebody over and say, come look at this. Or you get the same video, 12 times in your email. So don't worry about the numbers as much on this, and please don't try and write it down. But if you can just see the stats, right? So receive video links versus send versus watch versus rate video. And of course, those numbers are going up and up and up. My favorite one, receive video links. So look, 18 to 29, 30 to 49, 50 to 64. Send video links to others. 67, 55, 45, those are high, right? Like when I think of 50 to 64, I necessarily think, oh, they get video, but do they send it, do they share it, do they care? They're busy at their jobs, whatever else, but yeah, they turn around and they send it to other people. That 34, 58, 73, so that's like, hey, come in here and watch this with me. Or, hey, let's share it on our Facebook wall, things like that. So it's very, very social. So when you have a good video, when you have an interesting story to tell about your nonprofit or your cause, people will watch it, and people will be interested, and people will take the time to do everything you see on this slide. So this is something, let's talk about pizza really quick, and as it relates to nonprofits and crisis communications. And so how many of you heard what happened to Domino's this year? Okay, so a couple people not. I won't go into all the details. Are we after breakfast, but we're before lunch, so. But basically, somebody uploaded themselves on YouTube and said, hey, we're employees at Domino's, and here's what we really do to your pizza. Those of you who worked in the service industry or at fast food places know that sometimes, things are a little crazy in the kitchen, right, to put it lightly. And at the end of the video, they said, this is how Domino rolls, or whatever, right into the camera, and they're like, a customer's gonna be eating this pizza that we did things to in 40 minutes. And obviously, it was disgusting and sick, and people were revolted by it. And so what do you do when you're disgusted and sick and revolted? You send it to like 50 people so they can be disgusted and revolted as well. And so of course it took off, right? So by Wednesday, the day after, the video had 1 million views on YouTube. The best part is think about, somebody searches for your nonprofit or your cause-driven. So references to it were 5 of the 12 results on the first page of a Google search for Domino's. Right? So you're like, I'm going to order some pizza today and type in Domino's to find your restaurant. And then you're like, wait, what's all this? Obviously, pizzas were not ordered that day. And then, of course, it spread throughout Twitter and things like that. So just like I talked about, a good message can go and reach a lot of people. Bad messages can do the same thing. The Domino's spokesperson, and this doesn't directly relate to video, but it's a great quote. We got blindsided by 2 idiots with a video camera and an awful idea. Which is pretty tough wording for a spokesperson to say, but interesting nonetheless. Even people who've been with us as loyal customers for 10, 15, 20 years, people are second-guessing their relationship with Domino's, and that's not fair. So these are the folks. Of course, this video prank, because of course once people started to pay attention, the Domino's employees were like, oh, it was fake. Yeah, no, I don't think it was fake. And of course, this ended up in the New York Times. On the front page the next day because this happened. And there's their lovely smoking gun-esque mugshots as well. And of course, you see all the things like, right, Domino's Pizza is a keyword, YouTube's keyword. I mean, a lot of people are watching this. And of course, nothing ever comes off of YouTube or Blip or the internet about your brand. If I wanted to, although I could not find this video because obviously they contacted where it was and had it taken down and everything else, but there's mirrors, right? So you have to think, there's good and bad, right? If it's good, the video is going to be on there forever, and lots of people are spreading it, and people are posting it other places or making their own copies and showing people. But if it's bad, the same thing happens. And so you could still go today, and if you search hard enough, find the actual video. So we don't exactly have time today to play this video, but this was a video response. The problem was, as far as social media and video and sharing and things like that, you put out a bad video, Domino's at first said, well, it'll pass, which is obviously a mistake that all of us can make at one time or other, but we obviously know, hopefully nowadays, your communications team and your video team and your legal team know that things do not pass. You should come out and respond. And they did, but it took them a while. They stopped. They said, we're just going to ignore it. We're going to fire the employees, and we'll take care of it that way. But it kept spreading and spreading and spreading. New York Times is doing articles, Washington Post. It spreads because all of a sudden it's about technology and what YouTube can do and what video sharing sites can do. So then, TechCrunch picks it up, all these big technology blogs. And so they came out with a video response. And they did an okay job on it. The problem, when you actually watch this video, and you can kind of see that, those of you who are video people in the room, do we have video production people in the room, or directors, editors, I mean, whatever you want to call yourselves? Corporate communications folks in the room, marketing folks, a couple of you. So the problem with this video is that they put it out, I mean, he's dressed okay, is that look at his eye contact. If you actually play the video, the whole time he's like, hey everybody in this room, I want to apologize for the presentation I just gave because I'm reading a teleprompter to the left of the screen. And so when I show this video, and when you watch this video, the authenticity is not there, right? Like he could have just looked into the camera and apologized and said, hey, we fired him, we took care of it, we make great pizza. But it was just these little weird things and stuff you guys should think about when you're out producing video and things like that. Obviously you want an authentic voice, which they had. But they just didn't write kind of an authentic script, and he wasn't directed well, and things like that. It's not his fault. They sat him down and said, here's what to say, and maybe it would have been better off the cuff, him just apologizing.